Hello! So, it's been a while again, hasn't it? I hope you guys have stayed safe and occupied during this lockdown. Been fucking weird, hasn't it? But I'm not here to talk about that today. I am here with a slightly different video for you. So if you remember at the start of the year, I said I wanted to do some slightly different things on this channel. And I wanted to branch out into like music reviews and things like that. And it just hit me the other day that I have a friend who's a musician. Like an actual musician. He has an album out there and shit. So I thought I'd interview him. So that's what this video is. It's basically a Q&A with my friend. Because I thought he'd have a few interesting stories about songwriting and what it's like to have an album out there in the world. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this Q&A and I will speak to you afterwards. Ben Criddle there with the songs.
Hello, sad songs.
We've had a few people writing some questions for Ben, so I'm going to ask them, and if you've got any questions, feel free to send them in the future and we might do another one.
Yeah.
But here we go. Would you say that your first two albums are linked in some way? And if so, will the upcoming third album be as well?
Well, they're both sad. I suppose. Well, I think the thing with soundtrack was written about a progression of a breakup. So that was kind of themed in one way, and then Artificial Happiness was sort of written about well, a few different things. Artificial Happiness was written about sort of living with sort of mental illness. So you know, they're both kind of related in the sense that it's all drawn from personal experience, but I wouldn't say they're linked story-wise.
Yeah.
So, you know, at a very basic level, I would say they're linked.
So will you be having a featured artist on every album?
Yeah, so I did, me and my brother wrote a song, The End, on soundtrack. Then I had Tony, my producer, Maximum Tension, who's also on Bandcamp, go check him out. He did a solo for me on Halfway Down, which was a very instrumental song, which I chose to be a very instrumental song because that's the kind of music that he does. And then up on Hyperphrenia, I've got my friend Chris Royal, who's the other half of Separated Out. We've recorded a song called Mind Reader. That's in the very sort of first draft stages, just need to do some mastering with it. And that sounds very good. And then I've got, I mean, the idea is, yeah, I kind of want to have a featured artist on every like one song on each album. You know, eventually I'm going to run out of people though that I can convince to do songs. You know, I've not had any big names sort of hitting me up yet to sort of want to feature on my songs. So the idea is, yeah, but I don't quite know how long that's sort of going to go for. That
again, like when I listened to The End, the harmonies of you and Nick really stood out to me, and I feel like it just adds a different flavour, doesn't it? Like
it does.
It mixes things up a bit.
Yeah, and it's like with Nick sing, because Nick sang a load of like solo lines in it as well, and I've always found that me and Nick sound very nice together.
Yeah. And
I don't know whether that's due to the fact, you know, we are brothers, don't quite know if voices work that way. But and then like when we had Tony on Halfway Down, he is a very different playing style to me, which again worked as a bit like a vocal, having, you know, a different sort of style of vocals. It's like Chris as well. When we were writing Mind Reader, I was sort of writing it and sort of saying, right, it's sung this way and da da da, and then he went and put his own sort of spin on it and put sort of like singing inflections in places that I wouldn't normally. And so I've got a verse and he's got a verse, and it's nice that they are, obviously they're the same sort of, they've got the same backing and you know, X, Y and Z, but it's still very sort of different and sort of there's very much
personal touches in.
Yeah, and it's nice sometimes to have a song on there that isn't wholly written by me, because I can get very stuck in my style sometimes.
How did you get the idea to make the next 4 minutes stays between us exactly 4 minutes in length?
Well, the name, I suppose.
End of question.
Yeah, I mean, well, I was writing the song, and I think the song's sort of kind of apparent what it's about. And I took the name because I like the name of, there's an Enter Shikari song called Anything Can Happen in the Next Half Hour. And I kind of liked that idea of saying da la la and a time period. I just thought it was quite cool. And I always had in my head, I've had the idea in my head for a song called The Next 4 Minutes Stays Between Us for quite a while. And as I was making it, I made the song initially, you know, I didn't come in with a plan that it was going to be 4 minutes long. And I noticed that it was like 4 minutes 12 seconds, and like, you know, it'd be really cool if I cut 12 seconds off this song somewhere, and then, because I had quite a long intro into it,
Yeah.
and I was like, it'd be really cool if I cut off that intro and the song was exactly 4 minutes. So when I handed it over to for mastering, I was like, make sure that, yeah, you know, if you're gonna add a fade out or something, just make sure it ends on exactly 4 minutes. I think it just looks so good as well.
Yeah. I imagine this is going to be quite a tough question.
Go on.
Because they're all like children. But
Oh yeah.
do you personally have a favourite song of yours?
You see, like, I've had this conversation with a few people, and it's difficult because, like, I have songs that are my favourites because I enjoy playing them, and then songs that are my favourite because they have meaning to me. So it's like, say for instance, you look at songs that have meaning to me, and there's like I Still Love You and Waterfall, and there's a load of different songs that, like, I mean, I Still Love You, I love playing live as well, but like there's some songs that aren't my favourite to play live, but they have a lot of meaning to me.
Yeah.
And then there's the songs that I love to play live. So you look at, like, again, I Still Love You. See, I Still Love You is probably my overall favourite, both for meaning and for playing live.
Nice.
And then, like, The End, again, I really enjoy playing that live. And then, like, you know, Reputation, Flicker are both songs I really enjoy playing live.
I've got just a question to add on to that question myself. So when you play The End live, will you sometimes do that without Nick, or will you always?
Yeah, I have done The End without Nick.
How dare you stand where he stood?
So for the verses, when we alternate the lines, I'll just tend to sing all of that. However, there's the bit in the chorus for The End, and now we have reached the end, and I can't help but fall apart. And Nick says the "Are you falling too, and do you feel it too?" I can't do that. That's too high for me. So whenever I play The End live without Nick, those lines tend to get omitted.
How do you come up with the faced pill then, which is now becoming synonymous with your work?
Well, his name's Kevin, actually.
I didn't know he had a name.
Yeah,
Exclusive.
he's called Kevin. You heard it here first. His name's Kevin. Kevin. Well, he's actually, I don't know where Kevin is now, actually. I've probably put him in the bin. It all started really with where the album name came from. I was speaking to one of my friends, and I was having a bit of a breakdown, like you do. And I was saying that, like, my happiness doesn't feel like real happiness, it just feels like artificial happiness. And at the time I was like, ooh, that's a great name for an album. So it sort of became, that's where the album name came from. And then I was making the album artwork for Artificial Happiness, and I kind of thought, I don't know, it just kind of came to me that, like, yeah, putting a smiley face on, I mean, it was actually out of date paracetamol, because I didn't want to get rid of anything that I needed. But yeah, and actually on all of them, I drew 4 faces on it, on all 4 of the tablets, because there's 3 that are cracked. And I did the first 3, and they all looked rubbish. The faces on them, they all looked really bad, and I was like, oh. And I went to do the last one, and the last one actually looked half decent, so I was like, okay, that's good. So if you actually look closely at some of the crushed pills on the album cover, you can still see the little red specks on them. Because I thought, I'll do it on all of them so I can have a few goes. And,
so Kevin did have brothers until...
Kevin did have brothers until I crushed them with a hammer.
So I've got 2 questions very similar here, so I'm just going to roll them into one.
Okay.
So it's about your inspirations. So you have a question about who your inspirations are, but a slightly tougher question is, if you had to pinpoint one band or musician who you'd say was your number 1 inspiration, who would it be?
See, I've taken like inspiration like from people like Green Day and The Offspring for stuff like separated out stuff, and I do feel as though they are still kind of inspirations on the music, even though the genre is different.
Yeah. Like,
it's all very acoustic, so like, like sort of Pink Floyd and Roger Waters were always quite big influences to me. And then, sort of just like, I tend to look at sort of like, like on albums sometimes you get like that one acoustic song. Basically, I like to try to feel as though I'm making an album full of them. And, not all of it's very acoustic. Like, you listen to like Hero in My Eyes and stuff like that, and they do have, they're not all just pure acoustic ones. So, I do take a lot of inspiration like this. I take a lot of inspirations from individual songs by artists that, might not do the same thing, but I would take the inspiration from like the one acoustic song on that album. As for doing... See, it's difficult really as well, because like, as far as Separated Out goes, I'd love to do songs with, the likes of the big names like Green Day and stuff like that. But I think for doing like my solo stuff, I'd love to do a song with guy called Steve Hogarth, who's the singer of Marillion after Fish left, because his voice is just amazing, and you know, like I can't even get anywhere near that. But a lot of the style and his pauses and the way that he sings, I do take a lot of inspiration from that. And he's probably got my favourite voice of any sort of singer. So I think that would probably be my choice.
You ever woken up from a sleep and had new ideas for lyrics or songs?
I mean, yeah, I have, but I tend to just, you know, I'll be walking around in life and I'll go, oh, that'd make a great lyric, or
Yeah.
I'll start humming something and I'll go, is that something, is that something? So, like, I don't know, I seem to just be plagued by a mind that just won't shut up with, oh, that'd make a good lyric. It's like, I have a whole folder on my phone with just notes full of occasional cool lines that I've gone, oh, that's a nice line, or, and then some songs are just, I'll bang a load of them together and then sort of build a song around that.
What's your favourite cover song to play?
That's interesting. I learned ages ago when I first invested in a capo, I learned to play Fast Car. And that's good fun to play live. It's hard to sort of play and sing, but I really do enjoy playing it. Machines by Biffy Clyro is another one that I do enjoy playing live. That and I'm trying to think what other ones I've sort of done. I enjoy playing Wish You Were Here, because obviously I'm a big Pink Floyd fan, so those are probably some of my favourites that I would like to sprinkle in a set list maybe at some point.
I've got one final question now. Do you remember the first record you ever listened to from start to finish, and what was it?
I mean, I've probably had albums where I've just put it on because I've put on a CD.
Yeah.
I think one of the first proper albums I can ever remember putting on with the intention to listen to it, so front to back, was... I can remember being really young and having FIFA 08 and having Goodbye Mr. A by the Hoosiers on the soundtrack for that, and I can remember buying that album, and I think that was like one of the first full albums that I bought as a kid.
Yeah. Like
for myself and not just my parents bought me. I think it was like one of the first albums I bought, and so there was that, and then you know, then I've obviously had, you know, like American Idiot and The Wall, which have been like concept albums which you listen to back to front. I think the earliest one I can remember was buying The Trick to Life by the Hoosiers and listening to that back to front.
Wow, that's all the questions we had for now.
Fantastic.
Obviously, as we said, if you want to send any more questions in,
please do.
Go for it. And I'll leave you with Ben if you want to say anything else.
Yeah, no, that's it. If you want to send any more, I'm more than happy to do another one of these. It's been nice to sort of know what people want to know, really. And yeah, Soundtrack to My Escape's now live on quite a few streaming websites, so go check it out.
Exciting stuff. Thanks very much, Ben.
Thank you.
Take care.
See ya.
Oh, you're back then. I hope you enjoyed the Q&A, as I say. I might make this into a series because I've got a couple of other friends who dabble in music. So if you'd be interested to see that, please do let me know. And also, check out Ben's music. I'm not just saying this because I'm his friend. His first album is really good. It is so impressive. I've put all the links down in the description to where you can download it. It's available on a lot of streaming apps and websites, including Spotify and Apple Music. So follow the links, check out his album, and why not let us know if you like it. So take care, and I will see you again shortly.